Hey YouTube, Tom Houston with Tom Houston Photography here, and as promised, my next video is my initial thoughts and review of the D600. So this is a spectacular camera. I chose not to do an unboxing of this camera because I wanted to use it first and then go over it after using it so I can actually shed more light about the camera after using it rather than just taking it out of the box. So, its ergonomics are amazing. It doesn't feel like the D800 at all, which I was kind of worried that it might because the D800 is a huge brick and not ergonomically nice at all. In terms of it feeling like the D7000, as some people have said, I have read, it doesn't, in my opinion. It actually feels better than the D7000, and it doesn't just feel like a bigger version of it. It may look like a bigger version of it, like the button layout is similar to the D7000. However, it is a very, very beefy camera, and you know that it is full frame the second you pick it up. One thing that's similar to it with the D7000 that I don't like is the autofocus points layout is the same. And because this is a full frame camera opposed to the DX camera of the D7000, all of the autofocus points therefore are centered in the frame of this camera. They're not really nicely spread out, which is fairly annoying, but it's something I'll get used to and you can work around, but it is a little bit annoying. However, the pros of this camera greatly outweigh that. Another thing I don't love about the camera is just a small thing, they switched the zoom buttons, they reversed them, which is super annoying. I have no idea why they did that at Nikon, but they did. So I guess I'll have to get used to that. I'm starting to, but every time I use my D90, it goes down the drain again. One reason I got this camera was it is fully weather sealed, and it's very, very sturdy. This camera can take a lot, which is great because I don't have to worry about my camera anymore in that regard. Another reason I got this camera was its ISO performance, and it is amazing. So I did a torture test with this camera, and I took it out with my 85-1.4, and I did a portrait shoot at night with a friend, and she was only lit by Christmas lights, so I was shooting at 1.4 ISO 3200, and the noise was present. However, I think because of the sheer number of pixels of this camera, all of the noise was really, really fine and really, really small. And because of that, it's not that distracting. It's pleasant looking. I don't find it that it takes away from the photo at all. So shooting at 3200 at wide open on my 85, it looked really nice. It would probably look better if I was shooting at ISO 100. However, it's good to know I can shoot at 3200 and still get usable images. I'll, as usual, post the photos I'm talking about at the end of this video so you can see for yourself what that photo looks like and judge it for yourself. However, this camera performs amazingly in low light and the noise is not that distracting, and I think that's amazing. If I shot my D90 at 3200, I wouldn't want to have that photo see the light of day. But anyways, moving on. It has 5.5 frames per second, which I don't need. However, I have found ways that it does come in handy. When I was doing a wedding with this camera 2 days ago, I actually got the flowers that the bride tosses to the all the single ladies in the audience. I actually got the bouquet of flowers at different stages in the air and then when it was caught. So it does come in handy here and there. However, for me, it's not needed, but it does sound amazing. Ooh, that's a music to my ears, and it sounds so much better on a full frame camera. So it is quite fast, and the buffer is very good. It can handle about 14 to 15 photos in a row of RAW, which is quite impressive. Also with this camera, it has very good video now. I don't know a lot about video, however I know it's a lot better than the D90. And you can also do slow motion video. You can take 60 frames per second at 720p, I believe, which is really cool, and I might actually start using this for video and doing videos of portrait work I do, so I can actually upload YouTube videos of shoots. So stay posted for those, because I might start doing that, hopefully. It also does time-lapse photography, which I have used. It's very cool, and you can do some very interesting things with it. However, I have not had a clear day yet, so I can't do shots of the stars just yet. However, when I do have a clear day, I will be out taking time-lapse photography of the stars, and I will post that whenever I get that done. As I said before, it does have a lot of pixels. It is a 24.3 megabyte camera, megapixel camera, which makes my file sizes in RAW have been between 25 and 36 megabytes in size, so they're quite large. And it fills up your memory cards a whole lot faster. So if you do upgrade to a D600, you might have to get some more memory cards, because it takes very large file sizes. But that is good. More detail the better. More information the better. The other thing is that I used is the quiet shutter setting. I've read and heard a lot of people saying that Nikon's quiet shutter isn't that quiet. However, when you're in the field, it does make a very large difference. So what happens is it separates, so the shutter goes down, and the mirror goes down in the first sound, and then the second sound, when you take your finger off the shutter, is the mirror coming back up. So it dampens it and separates the mirror coming back up. So this is what it sounds like. So that first bit was the mirror coming down, taking the photo, and then when I took my finger off the camera, it puts the mirror back up. So photo and shutter, and then the mirror. So that did help a lot. It was nice in the wedding, as well as I did a Christmas concert, and there was a really quiet song, and you could definitely tell that the shutter was being really loud, so it's nice to have that setting. And it doesn't sound that much different, I know right now. However, when you're in the field, that does make a pretty large difference. One thing I also don't like about the camera, but I knew it was probably going to happen, is you get the camera's name on the camera strap, which to me all it says is, "I'm really expensive, please come and steal me." So I won't be using this camera strap. Also, it's really thin and really not a good camera strap. Like my D90's camera strap is better than this one. So I will be investing in another camera strap, because this is a piece of garbage, and I don't want to be advertising my camera with the strap. Lastly, this camera, when it first came out, had some dust and oil issues. So what I did to make sure I didn't get a bad copy was I went into the camera store and tested it out for about 20 minutes and took a whole bunch of photos with the camera to make sure I wasn't getting any dust and oil on it. And the people at the camera store were really understanding, and also brought me white sheets of paper that I could do dust test shots on, which was great. So I could make sure that this camera probably wasn't flinging oil around or shaving off an internal coating onto the sensor. So if you want to make sure you don't get a bad copy of the D600, I don't know how many bad copies there are left, because I'm sure Nikon fixed that the first time they heard about it. However, they didn't do a recall, so there's still probably some bad copies out there. Test it in the camera store first, so you know that doesn't happen. So all in all, so far this has been a spectacular camera. It's outrageously sharp. It has so much detail. The ISO performance is amazing. I can't wait to use the video a little bit more and the time lapse for actually serious things. I've just been testing it with random things thus far, and it is a amazing camera. And for those of you who are thinking about upgrading to FX, to full frame, it's a huge difference. I upgraded from the D90, which is still an amazing camera, to this guy, and the difference is night and day. So anyways, spectacular camera. If you have any questions about anything I've said in this video, just toss it on below. I will be posting up some photos I have taken with this camera so far after this video, so stay tuned for those. And I hope that helped. I hope you liked the photos after this, and you can follow my photography through all of the different links I post below. So I hope you do that, and again, hope you like the photos after this, and you can see what the camera does. Cheers.